Hello everyone, I'm Happy, the crafty chemist, and it's been a minute since I've done a video, but that doesn't mean I haven't been doing anything. It just means I've been way too busy to make videos recently. So this is going to be my end of summer, August to mid-September, well, until the start of fall, video for what I've colored. And I'm starting in August, and I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pages in August. And I've already done more than that in September, so I've had a real interest in coloring. This book I got for Christmas, and I had only colored one page in it, and I just set it out next to where I sit in the evenings, and this is the one I colored on Christmas Day with the new ink tints that I got when I got this book. And then, you know, there's having so many books, I just put it away. But here's one I colored. I finished it on August 29th, and I wanted to have a weird background. This is, I believe, done with Neocolor 2 and Starjoy Gold pencils, and with a little bit of graphite. I was pretty big into the graphite in August, I think. I don't know. It was just whatever I had around, I'd grab things. I have been trying to do more with different media, and the two that I had chosen to use in August was Starjoy Gold pencils and Polychromos. But I really didn't do much with my Polychromos. I mostly used the Starjoy Gold and watercolor pencils or the ink tints. And so this one here I finished on the 25th of August, and I could tell that it has my graphite, and these are Caran d'Ache Museum aquarelles in there for that, just because I know what colors I had. Actually, I think these are watercolor pencils, not ink tints, now that I look at it. But I had a lot of fun with this book because it was just sitting there. It was the only one I had downstairs at the time. I did both of these 2 pages. I wanted a blue background, like a bluish colored background. This is all watercolor pencil here. This one's both watercolor and colored pencils. And is that the last in this book? At first was like not sure how I'd feel about this book, but it's been a lot of fun. I think that I'll feel coloring in it more after the fall season. I may set it out again in like the spring because it's mostly pictures of flowers. I did like this one of the books, and I was gonna do it this month, so I guess I could put it out because I had books on my thing for September as something that I would color, and I think I've only colored 1 page in September with books. So that was The Plant Lady by Sarah Simon. I have 1 page for August in Circle of Life, and it is, let's see, which one did I do? Oh, it doesn't say. It's done with Starjoy Gold. Oh, I have a bunch of them marked in here. One I've done before. Oh, I did this one. I started doing some space stuff last month, so this is also kind of like a space timber kind of thing. This was done entirely with Starjoy Gold, I believe. Let me double check my stuff. Yes, entirely with Starjoy Gold. I really like how the trees and everything just leans towards this moon, like the gravity of the moon, and is pulling it in, and the stars are circling the moon. Then we have the wolf howling, and then there's a friend back here. But I had a lot of fun doing the shading on this one and sticking with just the Starjoy Gold. Let's see what else I have marked in here, because I know that there were, oh yeah, birds. So I'm going to take some of these out. I was doing birds in August, and let's see. Yeah, this one had a bird on it too. It has an owl. I may pull some of these back out. Actually, I may leave this one marked for now. May pull them back out later in September since it's just birds. But I may look at things for fall or Halloween. But I have so many options for fall and Halloween coloring that I don't know if I need to have a whole lot more marked. I do want to keep these two marked because they work really well for fall. Oh, and this is books. So I must have come back through here and marked some more things for books. This is a whip. I keep them for fall, I guess. And this is Space Timber stuff. So I may come back to that book this month if I get a chance. Next, I have Terrific Tessellations. I have a few of these Creative Haven books, excuse me, that I haven't really done much in, but I did this one with Castle Art pencils. My cousins had come to visit, and I let my 11-year-old cousin, play with the Castle Art pencils, and before I put them away, I colored this page. And I was definitely going for a rainbow theme with it, and I like it. It came out really nice. I got these actually for my teaching and identifying patterns and what the smallest repeatable pattern is in the images, and I've photocopied some of them so that I could just hand out to the students and they could cut them apart and all that kind of stuff. But I've now started coloring some of them because I have them, but Creative Haven paper is not my favorite paper. I also have one in Nature Fractals, and I probably also colored this one with, this is a Castle Art and Inktense. It was a bird, because this is bird wings, and so I actually think this looks pretty psychedelic, and I like that. This has got some interesting images. Like this one actually would be pretty good for fall. That's maybe more summery. But yeah, these are fractals. This is one I colored before in probably March. I don't have a date. Actually, maybe I'm not finished. I'm not sure. But yeah, nature images that they took into making fractals with. Most of them are flowers of some sort, so. Except the butterfly there. This is the one on the cover though, and gotta say, like my version of it a whole lot better than the cover version. I was imagining him to be something like parrot wings or something. Then I also colored this one in Creative Haven at Starry Skies. These obviously all work for Space Timber, but I did do this one in August, and that was because it had a bird, and I was kind of focusing on maybe getting some pages done in these Creative Haven books, but this has I think Inktense. It's definitely wet stuff, and I'm going to say that it's probably Inktense, and probably only Inktense, come to think of it. And then acrylic paint pens and a gold pen to do the stars. I wanted them to stand out, so to have that bright, or the opaqueness with the translucent Inktense on there. So I finished this one early in August, but this whole book is Starry Skies, which means it has a lot of space pictures in it. It's, a real and an imaginary kind of thing. I've colored a few in here, but like this took a long time because there's just a lot of small details to color in. This one is got an intense amount of detail. So does this one, and this one, this one. So if I don't want to spend a lot of time on something, I have to come up with a way to do it, which is what I was doing with the constellation page. Some butterflies with stars. some silly little creatures and spaceships. A night sky here with a cat and an owl, or a chicken and a boat. This kind of crazy looking unicorn. This one could be really wintry, I see. This one I also colored as like a Christmassy, wintry one with some poinsettias. I finished it on New Year's Day 2023. So I've had this book for a while. One of the early ones I got, I think the bird is on one of the covers. Yeah, the bird is there. So it's not a new book by any means, but it does have a lot of Starry Nights images or constellations or space stuff, so it fits in well. I would think I'd like to do the birds, do like a fall, like an autumn page for that, you know. This one I see as being either New Year's Eve or 4th of July for the United States. Get a dragon. So I also like this one. I like desert scenes, so I may do some more in that this month. I also finished up a Seahorse page here. In July, I was doing underwater stuff like fishes and things. I started this one, but I didn't get a chance to finish it, so I did finish it in August. So it doesn't fit with any of those themes from that month, but I used Inktense and colored pencils and a little bit of glittery watercolor in a couple of places, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I like Inktense because unless you put it on really heavy, it doesn't go through to the other pages. But I've been working on some solutions to that I'll show you. And this one is in spirit animals. There's a few more I have marked in here. I'm not really sure. Oh, these are birds, so I could take them out. Also birds. And also birds. I'll probably come back to this one in the winter. Also birds. Doing these kinds of videos gives me a chance to take these out. I think I'm going to leave this one because it's kind of fall. And I really would like to do some more in this book. Well, all of my Hannah Carlson books. All of my books. I feel like this pirate, even though this is birds, this could also be like a Halloween kind of thing. So I'm going to leave that for now, but I'm going to take this birds out. All right. That was Spirit Animals by Hannah Carlson. And then I have a page in Flora, and it's the only one that I colored with my polychromos. I've been really focusing on using other supplies. And so just these two birds here. I didn't even put a date on when I did it on the actual page for what the day I did it, but let's see. I marked it as being page 80, and then I finished it on August 5th. So I'll put that on there with a jelly roll. And I'm going to take that marker out because I'm done with that. These books I tend to, by Maria Trolle, I kind of don't think of them as being very fall. They're very spring and summery to me. There is an occasional winter page back here. So, oh well, this one has a fall thing. So let me go ahead and mark this. But yeah, it was like that's winter right after that. I guess she's kind of fall. She's pulling her onions or something and she's all wrapped up. So maybe I'll get to a couple of pages in here. And that is all I did in August. Now we're getting into what I have most recently done in September. And this is from Goblin Core. I bought it last year. It says reject the perfection and embrace the diversity and curiosities of nature, but it's kind of put together, it's a Chartwell Books, and it's, yeah, these images are Shutterstock. So it's not really reject perfection and embrace diversity and curiosities in nature, like it kind of implies, but it does have some kooky kind of things in it, and I've colored a few pictures in here. Like, see, this is very much just there's a number of these, like with a flowery background and bugs. So there's a variety of things in here. I actually finished this one last night, and I bought these Art Philosophy oil pastels. You'll see here in a minute that I really have gotten into oil pastels this month. And here's my testing out the colors kind of thing. And I wanted to use them on coloring a page. They are water soluble oil pastels. So it has 12 colors: salmon pink, raw sienna, so salmon pink, raw sienna, ochre, dark brown, yellow, orange, vermilion, violet, cobalt blue, Prussian blue, cobalt green, olive, and dark gray. And I don't know that these are actually that easily available. I noticed that they were on some like scrapbooking websites. I just liked the color choices here, especially for fall. This is called the Rustic set. It does have a feel of oil pastels. Like, this is not like dry. I can move it around with my finger. It doesn't come off on me very badly, but this green color here it's really scratchy, and it's not as creamy as the other ones, but like this orange is very much creamy, and it kind of spread around a little bit. I like the overall effect, and I will probably continue to play with them. I just brought this up here so I could show that I had done something in this book with this month in September, but I want to combine these with actual oil pastels. So like maybe use these for a base layer and do some highlighting or shading with regular oil pastels. I've colored a few. I guess I colored this one a year ago, and I colored that one, and I did this one for February. This one I put watercolor ground in the background, and then I used watercolor to paint the whole thing. I'm not sure how I like the effect, but so I've colored a few in here. This is an easy one to just leave next to me on the couch and just pull out and get a variety of images. It looks like I've colored one in Seasons. Yes, I did. This one, okay. I've colored quite a few in here, and I'm obviously going to leave this out because it's called Seasons. There's many images for fall that I haven't colored in here. Oh, actually, the fish I don't think of as fall, but I do have these on my list at some point. I think they're awesome, and I'm just afraid of messing them up. So some more fall there. And what I did was I used nothing but oil pastels, and I colored this. Was a phoenix or what, but I kind of guess it looks like that a little bit. I was trying to have the two pages kind of go together. I did the Autumn Winds September 14th of 23, and I did this one. I finished it on September 7th of 24. And so I used the Mungyo Gallery Artists Extra Soft Oil Pastels. There's 72 colors in this, and this is the set that I was using. That's my first thing I did with like oil pastels, was this. And I liked how I could cover a lot of the little details that Hannah Carlson draws onto different things. You know, like this is an example, and this bug here has a lot of ornate sort of detail. I covered a lot of that and then just altered it to make it fit what I was doing with the oil pastels. And this is entirely oil pastel. There's nothing else on here except for, I guess there's a little bit of gel pen, the Jelly Roll like Midnight series, to make some of those stars show up afterwards. But I started with the background in purple and some blues and a little bit of a teal color up this way, so it's a little darker down here. And then this is finished off with a workable fixative so that it doesn't smear. So like that does not come off anywhere on here. I put 2 or 3 layers of it on there. I wasn't too concerned if it got onto this page, but I do think I covered this page with a piece of paper so that if it did get on there, it wouldn't like change the colors of this in one way or another. I know I did this largely with Neocolor 2s, and I'm really pleased with like how I did, because this is the first time and I didn't really know what I was doing. But then I realized I had the opportunity to just play around with these oil pastels and coloring books. So you'll see that I have quite a few more pictures with oil pastels, and this book, Seasons by Hannah Carlson, I'm sure I'll show that again, like maybe late October if I do like just do a month-and-a-half video at a time or something. Okay, so I did do a graphite page in Animal Kingdom by Millie Murata, and it is the sperm whale. My stuff getting in the way here. Rotate that a little bit. There we go. All right, so this is entirely graphite. I used the graphitint blocks for the background and for the whale, and then I applied water on it, and then I put more color on there, and then I used the graphitint pencils to add in sharper lines for the water, and a graphitint pencil to add some of the markings back into the whale. And I used the white graphitint along the bottom here to kind of lighten the bottom of the whale. And it goes a little color off of it, but I have so much fun doing this that I think I want to try to do some more. And in this book there's a lot of background open space, so I think I could do that more with some of the other spaces. And I did try, so like this one here, I put some of that watercolor ground on it, and then I tried using some acrylic paint pens, and it smooched on there, like it just made a big blob, and so that showed through here. So what I started doing here is using Hemi gouache on the page, and I have no idea what I'm doing with the gouache, but I'm just having fun playing around with different types of media. And I think that I did this a little too thick, but I think that it should still cover up where things come through on the paper. Another page that I did in this book is just this half, because you can see these two are like sort of the same. I think they have the same flower pattern, but they have different placement for the ladybugs. And so I just played with this one using Neocolor 2s and the Starjoy Gold pencils, I think. That's because of just what I had downstairs next to me. And it was kind of fun to just use the Neocolor 2s and fill in a bunch of stuff, and then use the water brush to soften it all up, and then add in some details with colored pencils. Relaxing, very relaxing. Having the same kind of thing over and over. It's like, okay, find the next flower, find the next leaf that matches, and paint your ladybugs. But yeah, you can see how there's a lot of these that have just a lot of space in the background where I can try things like the graphitint blocks or large media or do oil pastel backgrounds. And actually I think I wanted to try to do that with oil pastel in here. This one I did with Neocolor 2, and I did do a background with the Neocolor 2s on there and just kind of made it very painty. And this one is a lot of layers of Neocolor 2s, and so it kind of shiny, but I showed that one in June. So speaking of playing with my oil pastels, I have not made a secret about the Joanna Basford books not really being my style of coloring. And I think that maybe that's just for pencils, because I have actually really enjoyed doing 2 pages in it so far this month. And I did these before with chalk pastels and some pencils, and I really enjoyed how, you know, that worked out. So I'm like, okay, I just want to play. And I came in with the oil pastels, and this page is sort of sealed. I think I need to put a few more layers on it, and this one is not sealed yet. So this is the first one that I did in this book, and I did it after I did the bird in the Hannah Carlson book. So yeah, I've seen a lot of people color this page. The one thing I can say about the oil pastels is they don't do the best job in the yellows with getting the lines covered, but obviously some of these flower shapes were not in the original thing, and I did the houses with them. Like, everything in here is oil pastels. There's no pencil or anything like that. And I did a little bit of, you know, scraping with a piece of wood, like not a toothpick, but one of these things that they used to push your nails down with. I have a bunch of them. And so I did some scraping in some places around the windows and stuff. I watched a few videos, and I had just fun, like, trying to layer things in there, make it look very painted and like an oil paint kind of thing. So I finished that on September 14th. And I'm going to have to take this out and spray it. I finished it last night. Yeah, because today's the 24th. I finished it last night. And there is a little bit of pencil on this one, but this is the elephant with the balloon. I obviously added in clouds, and I followed a tutorial on that from YouTube for making just a painting with clouds, and then I came up with the balloons on my own. I didn't want to have all of the little details in there, because that's like another thing that I just am not a big fan of, and that's part of the reason I don't think I like is like Joanna Basford is some of the just like tiny little details that I just feel are a little extra. Same as Hannah Carlson. That's one of the things I don't like particularly about her, but I love her images. But I was looking back through this book, giving it a second look, and I think I could have a lot of fun with it. I have only ever done one other page in here. This one was with Neocolor 2s for the background. So I feel like I can just use this book as a practicing place for different things I want to try. I'm not 100% pleased with the elephant. I am pleased with the balloons and the cloud. But the elephant, it's okay, but I wasn't trying to do anything realistic anyway. But I really like my background. And so I'm going to have to put this page back in here. Oh, and I did use colored pencil for the lines on the balloons. I added in a few extra because there were some missing. And then I used colored pencil for the lines around here, like on the fringe on the elephant. And then for his eye, because those were just tiny, tiny spots where I couldn't get in there myself. I went with the colors of my university for the colors of the blanket and the headgear on the elephant, but I got rid of a lot of the decoration on the ears. But I couldn't be happier, I don't think. And I've been having so much fun practicing learning these kinds of things and doing them in my books. So I may just continue straight on through. This is another instance where I could do a lot of background something with this one because it's just mostly empty space. And sorry, this is not cooperating, but that would give me some fun. You know, maybe some of the detail on the bird I could eliminate, I don't know. But some of the smaller stuff, you know, I'm going to have to do some mixed media with if I want to do that. Or maybe I try a different media in here and just leave this as a playground. Maybe I do gouache or acrylic paint, or I don't know. I know that she's one of the most popular coloring book artists, but hasn't really been somebody I'm like, I have to color hers. I have to have her books. I do have 2 of them. And the other book I also have been just like playing around with and messing with, and it's the Rooms of Wonder one. All right, the other media that I'm supposed to use in September has been alcohol markers, and I think I may put them away because I am quite done with that. But I wanted to color, I started this one in August with the birds, and I didn't finish it until September. And this has probably ink tints in it, and Starjoy Gold, and I finished this one on the 2nd of September. I'd been wanting to do it for a long time, and I'm really glad that I actually got around to doing it. There's also some graphitint there. But it also has a space thing, so it works in space timber. And then, that one's from before. Oh, I colored the puffins. Also birds in space, so a combination of August and September for me. And I did this with ink tints and colored pencils, and there's metallic watercolor in there. I thought I had one with alcohol markers in here, but I guess I didn't. I must have brought this one up. Yeah, that's all that's in that one. And that one was Mythographic Menagerie by Fabiana Attanasio. But this one, I definitely did alcohol markers. And this one is Wildwood Witches Special from Coloring Heaven. And there's a website that goes with it for the artist, Steve Hutton. And so I used that for the way he originally did this art piece for the inspiration for the Queen of Hearts, which is the 25th page in the book. And this is all alcohol markers. I was originally doing my alcohol marker pages with the little plastic page that they give you to put underneath it. But what I found was on thin paper especially, the marker goes through and creates a puddle on the paper. So I switched to doing just a piece of, from a little pad of just like sketch paper. I put that under there because it absorbs the extra, and I could do a lot more before it was like puddly. Now it does dry quicker with this piece of paper, so you have to make some adjustments for that. And if I don't get this smaller piece of paper in the right spot, then I'm going to end up with stuff over that. But I think I could cover that up. I may keep this book out because I feel like this could be very fall sort of page. This is Raven's Wand. So the one thing about using alcohol markers is then you can't see as easily what it says on the previous page for who this is. But most of these images are on his website, so you can get an idea of what to do. And since this is witches, you know, that leads it to be very fall or October themed for me. This one I colored before I found his website, and I didn't know what any of this stuff meant. For like, he goes wearing the colors of season Moonfrost. I'm like, I don't know what that means. She's gonna have a green dress and a green jacket, and we're gonna have some dark spider webby kind of things because she's sitting on a witch's broom playing with spiders. I'm like, what could be more Halloween than that? And I colored this one, well, in August of last year. I started doing Halloween and fall in August of last year because I just have so many fall pages. And so there's some really cool, I like this one with like the kitty gravestones here and the face in the tree, and it just looks kind of spooky. I think I can make this kind of spooky looking, even without going and seeing the reference, because I was thinking these could be very dark gray colors, and I'll probably use graphite a lot on it. So Wildwood Witches Special from Coloring Heaven for this one. And also with markers, I colored a page in Gnome Sweet Gnome. I feel like there's a few more fall pages in here that I could color. I haven't colored a lot of them in here yet, but this is a fun one to just pull out. I think I colored this one, yeah, a year ago. I was at a wedding with my husband. Colored this one last Christmas. And I colored this one with alcohol markers. And so it does have my books that I wanted to have for September. And this is the only books page that I colored in September, but this is all entirely with alcohol markers. You can see these guys are one-sided, which is perfect for using that. And again, I forgot to put the thing in between. But if I can use something that won't be very transparent and cover up where it bled through. No problem. So yeah, it's also kind of fallish because of the mushrooms. We do have a lot of mushrooms in all of our yards popping up, like making the fairy circles, and it's fun. I like that for this time of year. I also do like how bright the alcohol markers are for coloring gnomes, because I feel like gnomes are pretty bright. I did do that page here. I tried to make a very muted color. This was almost all Derwent drawing. They just don't have the red, like the orangey yellow colors in the Derwent drawing. But yeah, this was fun. I tried to do some shading and tried a bunch of different alcohol marker techniques, and I've had the alcohol markers out on the couch. I'm sure the cats and dogs are going to be excited for me to get them off the couch because they take up a lot of space. All right, and 50 Halloween miniatures. I colored one page in here so far, and it is this page here, also with alcohol markers. I was trying to do some shading in the tree to not make it just so one colored, and some shading in the leaves and in the witch's costume that's hanging there, and of course it has a cute little pumpkin. This has, Camilla Angel Kova has like 50 pictures in every one of her books, and so there's like a lot of opportunities with these black backgrounds to mess around with different media, and they're one-sided, so you can play around a little bit with that. Now again, it's thin sort of paper, it does go right through. This is parchment paper just from the store that I cut to fit. This one doesn't absorb it, and it works okay as a barrier between that and the next page. It's better than the plastic sheeting as far as marker pooling goes, but not quite as absorbent as having a piece of sketch paper or other paper there. I used alcohol markers in this last year too, but I haven't colored very many in here. Maybe this should just be an alcohol marker book. I don't know. Haven't really decided. And 50 Autumn Miniatures, also by Camilla Angel Kova. I colored one page, so I did this one a year ago. And then I did this one with alcohol markers, finished it on the 17th, these cute little bunnies. And these are the only two that are colored in this book, so it's probably one I'll also leave downstairs to color in with whatever, but again, you can see I messed up in a couple of spots with the markers going through to the page, and I just didn't have my protector mat in the right spot. This one, I was still using the plastic protector mat, so it ended up picking up some color that had dried on there and pulling it through on this mushroom. So I'm not really a fan of the protector mats. I will continue to try to find other ways to do this rather than the protector mats. But the bunnies are cute and they're sleepy, and I try to do a lot of shading on them and get some shadows, and it was fun. These are so cute in this book. It doesn't have to be like a Halloween thing. There are some that could be obviously Halloween in here with jack-o'-lanterns and ghosts and stuff, but it's also just fall, like the corn and the fox and these guys here, the squirrels and the mouse. They're so cute. This book is really cute. So raking leaves is a fall thing. So I want to try to color some more in this. I like that there's a lot of room for your own interpretation of the shading of things, and it's not like this, it allows for empty space. Not everything is completely filled in like in some of the other books. So like this one I did a lot of shading and I put more hair on the little hedgehog sleeping there. I'm excited to color some more in that. And the last one I have to share for right now is a Horor Kawaii Cute and Creepy page. And I did it with alcohol markers as well. Where is it? And I did this teddy bear. I did pretty good not having things come through, but I did have a little bit come through onto this cute spider wrapping up his little marshmallows. But yeah, I did the bear, and I wanted it to be a combination of bright and happy, but also really creepy. And so I didn't do too bad. One thing I've noticed about the alcohol markers though is that the orange choices are pretty bad. I actually went online and tried to find some better orange choices, and I couldn't really find what I was looking for. And if I was using marker paper, I think I could blend the color in, but when I tried to do some stuff like that back here and down here, it just didn't work out so well. And it's probably because of my paper. You can turn something really good into something really bad by your paper choice, and this paper just doesn't allow for much blending. It's making a gray area with the warmer peachy color for the bear over the top of it, and here you can tell it just doesn't blend very well with the markers. Even when they are still wet, the blending isn't really smooth. And so that's a paper thing. This is a coloring book. I'm not going to get too bent out of shape over it. Last year I tried this with alcohol markers and then putting Neocolor 2s over the top of it and some graphite, and it did not turn out how I wanted it to. So you can see this is all based with alcohol marker. But it's all like an experiment, and you just try it out, and you don't get bent out of shape if it doesn't work out. This one was another one that I played with, trying to do crystals, and not the best luck. The shading here isn't the best either for here, but you gotta play around to learn. This one was with Prismacolors. I did it right after I got it to try to repeat what was on the front cover. I think this one's with Brute Funer Macaron pencils. So fun little book, cute and creepy coloring book, Horor Kawaii. It's by Zoro Rojo. But yeah, that's fun. So that's what I have so far for September and August, and if you stuck around this long, I thank you for doing that. And I enjoy watching your videos, so I hope you enjoy mine, and I'll try to get some stuff up here again soon. My kid is in his senior year, my youngest, and lots of swimming time. So like this month, I think he had like 9 swim meets or something in September, so we've been pretty busy. And then I just spend like an hour on the couch at night just playing with things. Markers are pretty fast, so that's why there's so much coloring done. And then I go to bed and get up and work and swim practice or swim meets or whatever, and repeat. Leave a comment if you feel like it. What are you coloring for September? And I'll see you in the next video. Happy coloring.